Hi there, it's Ron Gula from Gula Tech Adventures with another video about how you can be safe in cyberspace. Today we're going to talk about the Wizard of Oz and what it has to do with you and cybersecurity. Now, if you know Gula Tech Adventures, we invest in all sorts of cybersecurity startups and we run competitive grants for cybersecurity nonprofits. But you might not know that you probably have IT in your organization that you could be turning features on. Now, what does this have to do with the Wizard of Oz? Well, if you've watched The Wizard of Oz, by the end of this amazing journey that Dorothy and her friends go on, we learn that the Scarecrow already had a brain, the Tin Man already had a heart, the Lion already courage, and Dorothy was already home. And it took a keynote from Ira Winkler that I saw in the mid-90s, where he used this analogy to kind of remind people that they have IT applications and cybersecurity technologies that they could be enabling, that they already have, that could cause a great amount of risk reduction in your organization. If you think about just even the basic things that we have, phones, laptops, and our cloud services, our emails, where we're putting our documents, all of these applications, even the free tiers of them, have opportunities to enhance our cybersecurity. Strong passwords, we can reboot phones and cause patches. We can actually even try to lock down how we access these devices from certain countries or certain devices. A lot of times we don't take advantage of all these basic IT things. And then when we get down to the actual cybersecurity products that are out there, there's a whole bunch of them that I'm just going to tell you, as somebody who used to run Tenable Network Security and somebody who's invested in probably 50 companies at this point, every founder tells me that they have features that they ship in their technology that are included with the product that customers just don't use. Some of this is because of complexity. They don't know how to turn it on. They don't know what the benefits are. Sometimes it's because there's perhaps a negative impact. So for example, patching. It'd be great for us to patch all the time, every day, as soon as a patch is available. I'm sure some of us have experienced a bad patch where the patch itself causes an outage. So people get a little skittish about how often you're going to be doing patching. Fortunately, the industry has moved on, and there's great patch management solutions out there, for example, from our portfolio company called Automox, that just makes it really easy for this type of stuff going forward. In the firewall market, you've got intrusion prevention, network intrusion prevention devices. You've got next generation firewalls, where the firewalls themselves can inspect traffic and start looking for attacks embedded in documents. A lot of organizations are reluctant to turn on these advanced features because it involves managing cryptographic keys or perhaps a performance impact, and perhaps it could be a false positive where a document sent could be claimed to have malware, but it doesn't get to that endpoint. Usually once bitten, twice shy in IT, but the threat is so high out there, that I really try to encourage people to move forward and try to turn these features on. When I was running Tenable, we included, with vulnerability scanning, patch auditing, as well as configuration auditing. And a lot of times these features are really different. A lot of times people just think, do I have a vulnerability? And not, am I configured correctly? Am I taking the best features of all the operating system and all these applications have to offer me? I've actually heard some organizations say that, well, if I turn on all these recommended features, the machine won't boot, the email won't flow, and whatnot. So there's a lot of different things that are going back and forth. Finally, another last example would be threat intelligence. I mean, there's so many great threat intelligence vendors out there: Recorded Future, Flashpoint, Intel 471, and a whole host of next generation of startups that are out there. But almost every one of these threat providers goes into some data lake or a SIM where an attack waits to happen, and then somebody has to hunt for it and then realize that they've been a victim of Iran malware, Chinese malware, or Russian malware. It'd be great to have this threat data be more proactive. And as a matter of fact, we have a company called Threat Blocker that can take this threat data and block it right on the wire. Now, we're filming this in April 2022. This is not going to change. If you look at some of these next generation technologies in zero trust, some of these next generation technologies in identity, there are all sorts of bargains. The more security features you turn on, the more you've got this balance of what you're trying to prevent. You might cause an actual outage. My feeling is that if these things are free, the threat is so high, you should definitely try it. And a way that you can think about this is using the Center for Internet Security. The Center for Internet Security, this used to be the SANS Critical Controls if you go back about 10 years. The CIS has been running this project for almost a decade now. They've got 18 different control groups, and they've actually broke this down into 3 implementation groups. Now, if you can go through some of their very, very simple tools, see where your organization lines up against that, and then proactively say, hey, I want to turn on these features. I would challenge almost everybody who's watching this to basically say, what features are they turning on that they don't have a vendor? Or who doesn't have a Microsoft or a Google or an Apple or a Cisco in their organization right now? And who doesn't have the ability to kind of take some action based on those recommendations from the Center for Internet Security? So having said that, I hope you can use this analogy when you start teaching people about things you can do to protect your network. If you want to learn more about this kind of content, I would recommend everybody visit gula.tech. You can see about 5 years of blogs and videos and shows that we've recorded that talk about this and other types of cybersecurity context, as well as get an up-to-date list of the cybersecurity nonprofits that we've been working with, and of course our amazing portfolio of cybersecurity startups. Thanks again for watching.